humans come equipped with 3 innate fears: the fear of heights, the fear of the dark, and the fear of being alone. These fears have been ingrained into our psyches for generations. You might remember a time when you went to school and was scared your parent wasn't going to come back. Maybe for you watching this video, you'll remember getting a day off of school and spending it all day playing Minecraft on the Xbox 360.
No, but she pushed me into the lava and he caught himself on fire.
Come on, let's go.
Dude, look.
I see.
This feels good.
At least for me, that's what it was. Maybe you'll remember the somewhat emptiness of opening a new world, playing on it all day, and then going to bed. At least, for me, I remember something like that. Growing up in the dawn of stuff like YouTube and online gaming was definitely an experience. But whenever I think back on it now, I recall those times when I'd watch someone like Dan TDM play Minecraft with all his friends, and wish I'd have someone to do the same with, only to end up back in those super flat worlds me and my brother made. There's always some allure to games that have that feeling. Sandbox type games that are being played alone. And that's why one night, while I was scrolling itch.io, I found a game called No Players Online, and I was so intrigued. The topic of horror, for me at least, has never been something that I've been shy to. As a kid, I was usually scared most of the time, but the reason not necessarily being the environment I grew up in, but more the environment I put myself in. The early internet age was full of stuff that was creepy or scary, stuff to grab your attention and appeal to a wider audience. That's why when, for me, I hear stuff like Slender Man, or Ben Drowned, or Jeff the Killer, or even fucking Five Nights at Freddy's, there's still a part of me deep down that will always sort of be frightened by these things. No Players Online is a game I found while scrolling through itch.io, made by Adam Pipe, a game developer who loves making tiny games that do a lot. Although that No Players Online was the first game I played made by Adam, that doesn't mean this is his first outing. His first game listed on his itch.io page is a game titled Talkative Plants, which, as far as I know, is his first game. Out of the 43 listed on this page, which is just insane to me. Now, at the time of recording, there are 2 versions of the game. The 2019 initial release of the game, and the 2024 demo for the soon-to-be-released fully game that I will be linking in the description, because I definitely want people to check this out. But I'll be talking about both in this video to give the full story of the game and why I think it's so interesting.
With arcade graphics like Donkey Kong with multiple screens. You have the arcade experience. Now you can bring the...
Coming only from Atari.
He's better than me.
Galen Village. Tranquil. Quiet. But something has gone wrong.
Look at the bruises on the kid's neck. One hell of a large hand.
You shoot the light-sensing zapper.
Something lethal.
When you first boot up the game, you're greeted by an operating system reading MS-BOS operating system V1.034_02 loading cartridge capture the flag project beta V023. You're then shown a server list of seemingly completely empty games, wondering to ourselves as the player, how did we get access to this game? With joining the game seemingly being the only thing we can do on this system. We join a game hoping for some answer. We spawn into this game standing next to a flag, only equipped with some sort of handgun. As you proceed to walk around, it reads in the bottom right of the screen, looking for players, which we should assume won't be changing anytime soon. With the only object being to capture the enemy team's flag, we should go ahead and do that. So we continue down this empty play area looking for the enemy's flag. The only thing we can hear is the ambiance of wind and our own footsteps. Because of course, there aren't any players here to stop you. You can simply pick up the flag and proceed back to your side of the map, but something seems off after you initially pick up this other flag. As you start to walk back on the side of your map, we hear some music in the distance. Music that wasn't previously there. Being curious, you can choose to walk towards where you hear the sound emanating. An old phonograph sitting alone. You can either let this record continue to spin, or shoot it like an asshole. If you decide to shoot it, the music stops and nothing else happens. The eerie silence that was there before returns to you. Or you can walk back to your side of the map with the music still playing. To you. As you walk back thinking about it, well, how did this get here? You're the only person on any of these servers, right? But when you notice something in the distance in front of you, before even fully processing it, it disappears right in front of you. You proceed towards your goal of returning the flag to your base and get a point after those two strange things happened. You think about it, being reluctant to even go back out there, but you have to finish the game. Once you eventually head back out there to go snag another point, you come across a red glowing light shining through the map until you turn the corner. Gone without any explanation as to what that was. As you walk past, picking up the second flag, the bottom right of the screen that previously said it was searching for players seemingly found one. An ominous username has now joined the game. Keep note of this, it's gonna be important later. Once you start your walk back to get another point, the shadowy silhouette appears a second time, but now you're even more tense, with the realization that you're no longer the only one in this game. You can continue cautiously ahead of you to go score another point. You sprint ahead to go put the flag down, and as you turn, it's when it happens. Feeling almost frozen, you stand as this figure walks towards you. Before you get a good look, it disappears again. You know this time for certain, you are not alone. Scared, you go out once again to get your final flag. 3 points and the game is over. But you realize it's gotten closer, appearing right next to you. You pick up the flag and realize that stuff has been disappearing this whole time, but it could be nothing. You leave wanting to get this over with, but that's when you get to it. Text pops up on the screen behind you. You're forced to turn when it disappears. We finally hear from someone else, a person seemingly by the name of John, which is also my manager's name. He asks us not to deliver the final flag, and confirms that we are able to hear him. That's when we start to get some answers. John tells us that if we were to deliver the final flag, it would shut down all the servers, seemingly forever. He stresses that he absolutely cannot let that happen. He says he's been working on this for more than 11 years, and if we deliver that last flag, it would jeopardize everything he's made here. That's when John tells us, this may look like a simple first-person shooter game to you, but this game has the power to raise the dead. John explains that that is what it's supposed to do, but it's still a work in progress. He admits to us that he made this so that he could see his wife again. However, she's stuck in some sort of limbo state. Yeah, the figure that's been following us this whole time, that's her. John tells us that she means no harm. She's only scared and confused. Probably because she's in a fucking video game. Explaining that he has been able to calm her with music, the phonograph that's been playing, and the last part. If you deliver the last flag, her soul will be set free. John pleads for you to please just press escape and shut down the game, as he knows he can save her and bring her back. So you have 2 decisions to make. Either listen to John and shut the game down and let him and his wife be, or set this poor unrested woman's soul free. And so what did I do? I went and put that fucking flag down. And the game screen brightens and everything stops, and it seems normal for the most part, but when you return to the home screen that you were at before, it's empty. Now, after what just happened, you're probably thinking, what's so special? You shut it down, the wife is free, there's nothing left. But that, of course, isn't where the story ends. Adam, the developer, added a Linux build of the game, the funny little penguin, with new secrets to discover, with the only form of hint being the Konami code. And famously, it's the up, up, down, down, left, right, A, and B. And if you follow the hint and proceed back to the game, you'll get something special. All of the servers seemingly back, and if you run through, you get the same phonograph, red light, and wife up until your second chance back with John. If you choose to leave, you'll meet the same full server list with no players, but join again and greet John a third time, you'll get a different dialogue. Now John Dev has joined the game. And if you look around for someone, you won't find anyone there. Well, not on the ground at least. The only thing you'll find is an eye floating in the sky above you, watching you. And if you choose to shoot it, this is what follows. And then back to where we started. Now, what the hell did any of that just mean? Well, we can watch back this footage, obviously, and we can just barely make something out. Up, 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 down, down, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I have no fucking clue what this is. It's like a shape, but other than that, I wasn't really sure what it was. But thankfully, I came across a video that told me what this was, reminding me that this is what an old enter key looks like. But with that knowledge now, we have our completed code to something. Now, if we take this code and apply it to the now empty home screen, a new document will pop up on our desktop, reading, warning, enable tracking, re-establishing connection to server __, deleting srh.ch, resetting progress, dump, end exception, dead end 25467. Right now, we're not gonna get anything out of this, so just remember it for later, but we'll come back to it, okay? Now, if we return to the game's page on itch.io, we can find something called completed save file that comes with a file 100% _save _file .sav. Now, if you try to open this with something like Notepad, you're not going to find anything. Except for something in this text at the top that reads PNG. So maybe if we change this from a .sav file to a .png, we might actually find something. So we'll get this PNG of a painted lamppost. Nothing, again, that's really groundbreaking. The only thing of note is the date at the bottom that reads November 15th, 2019. But what does that mean? On that day, another file would show up to the page labeled multiplayer fix. If you open this post and examine it, you'll find a note written from the perspective of the in-game developer, John Mullard. Now we have a last name, and I don't have to call him John anymore. Given in an email address, john.mullard@yahoo.com. And if you try to email this address right now, you're not gonna find anything. But if you were to email this address back when it was active in 2019, you would get this email. Due to personal grievances, I am out of office 03/31/1975 to 06/02/1975. Regards, John Mullard, Lead Networking Engineer, Inuit Ltd. And that same I logo from before. http://inuititdgames.com/ personal website http://johnmullard.itch.io/ Now, if we take a look at these links, the first isn't gonna give us anything. But the second one is an actual link. One that takes us to another itch.io page. One with the only thing there being a download link for a game. Now, this game, seemingly made to look much like a painting, follows a man on a walk with his dog far into the distance, only being able to hear the dog from far away. The leash we're holding only leads us down a path to try and find our dog at the end of it, while being accompanied by an eerie atmosphere. Which, of course, isn't anything new to this game, but the whole vibe of this game, and the fact that it's published on John's itch.io page, which I guess in universe is another one of his games, makes me think that before game development, John was a painter, and maybe he just liked this feel for his game, and before creating the Capture the Flag game, he wanted something like this. No, that's fucking stupid. Okay, Future Jace here. As I'm editing this, I'm realizing now that this theory wasn't that far off. It's gonna come back to support something later, but it's not like necessarily the same thing. But it does have some relevancy to the story. Back to the video. If we go all the way down, we'll eventually end up at a bridge that still carries the leash of our dog. Or so we thought. When we reach the end of this bridge, a floating VHS with the eye symbol we've been seeing everywhere reveals itself. Clicking on it shows this. Now, if you ever been in an English class where they taught poetry, you should be pretty aware of A, B, and C, D rhyming schemes. Something that keeps the flow of whatever you're saying consistent. And you should have noticed that there was a word missing from there. And you should be able to guess what that word is. Haunt. Or alternatively, just look up the song. Blue and Sentimental being the name of the song. Initially being released on June 6th of 1938, this phrase from the song, Blue and Sentimental, is an important thing throughout the series. So just keep it in the back of your mind for right now. It's going to be important. But if we take the same principle applied to the codes that we had earlier and type in HAUNT while having the game open, this happens. We're shown a screen reading sound test / 1,389 sounds loaded on disk. Copyright Inuit Games Ltd. With a floating record presented in front of us. It asks us for a memory address to test the sound file. Now, if we remember the code from before, that unfortunately gave us nothing at the time, provided us with random text, including a 5-number code. 25467. Maybe if we were to apply this code here, we could find something. Then we hear a scream from the distance, reminding us that there is someone in this game. poor woman who unfortunately can't seem to escape it. And after that, purple text reading, remove mesh number 345, collision. Collision, almost like the collision on items in a video game. If you don't know what that is, in Minecraft, when you get hit by a zombie, if we start up another playthrough of the game, everything appears normal, but of course, something has to be different. It's always different. Something like this. After we fall through the void, we're eventually teleported here to a mysterious room. A room with scrawls on the wall and multiple messages. And present in front of us is a computer with a glowing flag standing next to it. A computer that is asking us for a passcode. Now, once we're here, there really isn't anything giving us clues or hints towards any numbers that we can use to unlock this computer. It's a 6-digit password, and we don't have anything that could fit into here. But thanks to the community of this game, which really fucking helped making this video, people noticed that the shots fired from the gun we have equipped might not be a random occurrence. Earlier on in the game, if you just shoot, the bullets will come out at random rates, never having a consistent reload. And if we take that number and put it here, we find something. 3, 2, 4, 6, 8, 4, 1, 7, 5, 4, 9. A phone number. A phone number that gives you access to this. But this isn't the only thing to be discovered by the community. A user realized that one of the scrawlings on the walls was in fact not just a bunch of random blotches, and is actually Braille. You know, the thing blind people use. Braille reading the word Bandcamp. And this isn't actually a made-up word, it's a website. And if we go to johnmullard.bandcamp.com, we can get to this page. 2 albums of music. One just being the soundtrack heard throughout the game No Players Online, but the other being titled 2C, in parentheses, noun. If we listen through both of these, we'll find some pretty strange things. The last track of the No Players Online soundtrack contains what seems to be gibberish. And the to see, in parentheses, noun set of tracks containing multiple strange clips, but one that's gonna be useful to us right now. And thanks to some brilliant people in the community, who are way smarter than I am, it was discovered that the message reads, "Something has gone wrong. Galen Village, tranquil, quiet. One hell of a large hand." Right now, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't have any, like, pattern to it. But if we take the longest word per sentence and subtract them from our keyword, which in this case is dog, we get GLE, which numbers in the alphabet are 7, 12, and 5, and DOG, which numbers in the alphabet are 4, 15, and 7. Adding D, O, and G equals to 26, and subtracting 7 from 26, 12 from 26, and 5 from 26 will give us 19, 14, 21. This finally giving us our code, the code to the computer. And once we input this code, the container that previously contained the glowing flag opens, and text on the computer reads, "Replacement soul required. Please merge with the vessel to begin soul transfer." This vessel supposedly being the flag, and what happens if we walk into it? We see each and every one of the servers filled with people, but there's no way it just ends like this, right? There's so many loose ends and things that aren't answered. How do we have access to this game? Obviously, we're not the one who made it. John was. Who are we in this story? What happened to John? What happened to his wife? But, of course, this isn't the end. And if we remember back to a few minutes ago, there's more strange audio clips present on the Bandcamp page. The vinyl track on the soundtrack for No Players Online, 38NONSJ, the same name as the player that first originally joined us, John's wife, will actually lead us to this linked image that shows us the image of a forest with damage that's been done to the image, with what looks like a fake mushroom in the middle left of it. Nothing exclusively of note, but we know that there's gotta be more to this. But because the developer of the game wanted this mystery to be solved so badly, he joined the community's Discord, Some Players Online. People who wanted to solve this game's mysteries would join here to help each other. The hint the dev gave out was 9F35 and blank plus blank. Now, after this was given, players found that in the track __, which calls back to the note we saw previously, this message is given out.
He kept writing numbers and letters alternately. I think he's gone mad. Number, he's crude, calls me cowardly. Letter, I'm scared. Number, he says he hears xylophones from the other room. Letter, plus, today he said. Number, X marks the spot. Letter.
We ourselves can use this code. In between the speech we can hear is also conflicting number or letter being spouted in between each sentence. And if we use this system to figure out the code, we would get 5 for the number of words in the sentence, C for the final word of the sentence being cowardly, 2 for the phrase I'm scared, X for the biggest word in the sentence being xylophones, 4 for the phrase plus he said, and finally X for the sentence reading X marks the spot. Our code 9F355C2X for X. If we put this into Google Maps, we'll get our X marked on the spot. A national park out in Belgium, which I have never been to. Someone from the Discord went out to find the X and finally get us the answers. And what they did find was a tin, one that has the same eye symbol that has been appearing everywhere. Inside of it was a paper that read, "Why do you keep me, seek me, and keep me feeling blue and sentimental?" Yes, sentimental? And a code at the bottom. A code that, when deciphered, reads, "Thanks for hunting." And this is the end of the original story. I know, it's nothing extraordinary, nothing that involves like world-ending like consequences, but that's not what intrigued me. What intrigued me more was the aspect of what I talked about at the beginning. The fear of being alone. This man, John, who is a game developer, he lost his wife and eventually couldn't take it any longer, building this, whatever it is, to trying to get her back. And to me, that's just as interesting as any world-ending event in any media. Just the simpleness of not someone going on a murderous rampage, not someone being so distraught they couldn't take it anymore, but someone who we know isn't a bad person, but we don't know they're a good person either. Someone who, at the end of the day, wants the thing that all of us want, to feel loved, to have someone we care about. And by that, it means that John is no different than anyone else playing this game. In an interview, the developer of the game, Adam, expresses that I'm incredibly surprised. I don't think I could have ever expected it to blow up as much as it did. I'm very happy though. It's always nice seeing your work being appreciated, and it's good to get feedback from a larger audience. In retrospect, I would have probably written the story a bit differently. And fortunately for Adam, and for us, this isn't where our story ends. This is the interlude section. Okay, so if you can tell already, I'm really biased because I do really enjoy this game and the whole lore around it. Concepts like this have always intrigued me, and after this little recap of the first game's events, I'm going to take a moment to talk about a series I found online that sort of related to this topic. One day while I was scrolling on YouTube, I got a video in my recommended called Exploring Dead Games by the YouTuber Redlyne. I'll link his channel in the description if you want to go check it out. And nothing really in particular is related to No Players Online. There's obviously not a crossover episode happening here, but it's more the concept of gaming as a whole and having it be an empty place. It's the complete opposite goal you want to have when you set out to make a game. It comes back to that innate fear of being alone. It reminds me of those videos that would blow up in early YouTube because they were always something weird. The most memorable one to me being the I Found Herobrine Minecraft PE video. That video is sitting on 70 million views at the time of recording this, and I remember when it came out and it had like, I don't know, like 1 million or like 100,000. So that's just crazy to me. And that video came out 11 years ago. And that video obviously isn't gonna be scary now. I know Herobrine isn't real, but even knowing that it's fake and seeing it now, there's still something chilling about the video.
Okay, let's use a diamond. Ah! 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 Yippee! Run away, run away, run away! Israel! Oh my gosh, I'm sweating. Oh my god! Run! I'm about to go to my house. I'm about to lock my door. I'm gonna run all the way to the end of my mind. Ah! He's running after me! Leave me alone!
Admittedly, it is a little silly, and I think the guy who made the video just makes like COD videos now.
Hey, what is going on, guys? We are back.
But my point here being that the concept of no players online is so intriguing simply because of that factor. That feeling that you would get booting up a game and feeling as if you weren't alone. Playing something like Minecraft, Gary's Mod, other games that are meant to be played with people, and playing them by yourselves. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. I did it all the time. But there's always something that feels off doing that.
Pikachu's here, and today I have found a dog. Maren has put something in my inventory, but I don't know what it is. And I found this dog.
And basing a whole game's story off of this concept and infusing it with something that all of us have a commonality with, the feeling of being wanted, being desired. It's just so moving. Of course, Adam said that he would have wrote the story differently. And in 2024, he's gotten his chance to write the story differently once again.